It's continental. Continental. You sing while you're dancing. Your voice is gentle and sentimental. Hey, hey, hey. You'll find Preservation Thursday, baby. The dance is through. You're in love with her, and she's in love with you. You'll find while you're dancing that there's a rhythm in your heart and soul, a certain rhythm that you can't control, and you will do the continental all the time. Hey, that was at the Desert Inn. I'm pretty sure the Desert Inn there with Nat King Cole. What a talent, what a talent, what a talent. Preservation Thursday. Preservation Thursday. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Big news this week. Competition. Gotta love competition. Labor makes out in competition. We got bidding wars going on. Is it Foreclosurepedia's fault? Is it not Foreclosurepedia's fault? Is it Alladay LLC's fault? I don't know. We got a bidding war going on over polycarbonate. The Safeguard Cypress listed for $120 for a 4x8 sheet. Home Depot, $110. MFS, $99. Just me. I know MFS is part of Safeguard. Think about that for just a minute. When you buy from MFS, you support Safeguard Properties, whether you work for Safeguard Properties or not. MFS is Safeguard Properties. Yes, it is. I think it's a brother or something. I don't know. But that's the thing. I would rather spend the extra $10 and not support Safeguard Properties. Again, a decision labor can make. Labor can make this decision. It's your decision to make. Speaking of labor, ladies and gentlemen, women at work in the Richmond, Virginia area. Women at work, Kim Savage, 804-539-4333. Property preservation needs, property maintenance needs, property management needs. That girl can help you. She can do it all. She does it all. And she's pretty good. Safeguard Properties and MFS, that just blew my hair back. And of course, Lowe's, we're going to see if Lowe's is going to stay at the $110 mark. I was at that thing there at a Home Depot the other day and saw they got it. And it says right on the thing, Fannie Mae approved. Right on the polycarbonate. Interesting, huh? Very interesting. I think I need to get me a new coffee cup, a mustache coffee cup, so yeah, one of them kind. Mitch Davidson! Oh my goodness. Mitch Davidson, Purdy Enterprises, practicing discrimination. I'm sorry. How do you get a federal contract, a HUD contract, and you're going to discriminate against somebody? What's up there, Lila and Thomas? What's really going on, Mitch? According to reports that have been confirmed, Purdy Enterprises will not conduct business with anybody who belongs to International Association of Field Service Technicians associated with them or Foreclosurepedia. I'm sorry. That's discrimination in its purest form. No ifs, ands, or buts. That's discrimination. And you cannot do that. So, I believe it's Alabama, Tennessee, and Mississippi. Everybody in those states, every contractor in those states that reads the Foreclosurepedia blog, that It could be that is possibly associated with the International Association of Field Service Technicians, every single one. And even if you're not, if you're a mom and pop shop in one of those states, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, you guys need to be filing a complaint. Send it to Craig Carnes at the HUD. Link will be in the description. Send a complaint and find out how this company is allowed to discriminate. Ask them because it's crazy. They can't do it. They have a HUD contract. It's a federal contract, and you cannot discriminate on the federal contracts. You know, man. You just can't make this stuff up. It's crazy. You just cannot make this stuff up, ladies and gentlemen. This past week, 11 of the 110 members, it was decided the damages in the FAS deal started there at the beginning of the month. And so far, 11 of the companies have been decided on. 2.2 million total for those 11 companies. And again, remember, each company gets a different amount of money. Each company gets a different amount of money. The lawyer's fees are separate. It doesn't come out of that money. Why aren't more people coming together? Why aren't more people in each state getting a hold of their secretaries of state, getting a hold of an attorney and saying, hey, wait a minute, this is wrong, this is wrong. I'm going to tell you how to do this. Go file unemployment on these people. Go take your contract. Pull their name out. Put your name in and say, hey, we want to hire independent contractors. Will this contract pass muster? And I'm going to tell you right now, every single one is going to say no. There's just too much control in them. There's too much control. They are not I guess there's a new best bid solution processing. Best bid solution processing. 800 prepay gets you a month. And a month and a half. That's 6 weeks. $800 processing. That's not a bad deal there, man. Not a bad deal at all there. What is that, about $80 a week? Maybe about 120 a week. Not too bad, huh? Not too bad. Not too bad. Candace Cornwall, give her a call. She'll get you squared away. I saw the post up there on, Zeline. I got a question. How many people out there, especially in the rehab end of things, because that's where people get beat up the most. Forms free over there at Zeline. Forms are free at Zeline. I'll say it again. Forms are free at Zeline to file pre-construction lien notification. And all that is a notification. You're saying, if you don't pay me, I'm going to lien it. That's all it is. And you don't have to tell them. You just go do it. That's being a business. That's what business is about. Since 2010, 7 years have gone by. 7 years have gone by since Buckzek got slapped down like a bad redhead stepchild in the corner. They got beat bad, and when they said, we're licensed in New Jersey, we don't need a license in California. That's how stupid they were. The court says you have to have a license here. He says, no, we don't. We have one over in New Jersey. We have our license. We don't need a license there. Court said, oh yeah, you have no standing. And until you have standing, you owe this guy money. So they went and got the business license squared away. They got fined 6 figures. 6 figures. That's a minimum $100,000, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what the total was.
Now, since 2010, the board of directors and Eric Miller have known, and so did the previous president or whatever the heck it is of the board of directors, that Dina Alfredo girl, the girl who used to go wrap commodes with cellophane in the wintertime to make it look like there was ice so she could get a de-winterization fee and a new winterization fee. Didn't think we knew about that, did you, Dina? Shame on you, young lady. Shame on you. So the point I'm trying to make there, the members and the board of directors have known how to defraud the industry and the clients for years. And I'm going to ask it again, Mr. Carnes, Fannie Mae, all you people, I'm going to start getting these names, start calling them out. Why aren't you coming to the local areas and recruiting labor locally? Why are you giving a contract to Thomas Purdy, wherever they are, to run 3 states? They cannot do the work in 3 states, and you know it. You know they can't do the work in 3 states. Your numbers aren't sufficient for them to get the work, sub it out, and then pay somebody. Your numbers are sufficient for you to come to Reno, pick the telephone up and say, hey, Aaron, can you help us out? Hey, Donovan Construction, can you help us out? Hey, Fannie Maids, can you help us out? Or I think it's Fannie's Maid. That's what it is. Fannie's Maid. You got to love that name. It was a play on word. Carol Trench is the gal that runs that company. Awesome company there. But my question is, why aren't they coming and asking? Why aren't they coming to get the talent that they need? Because that takes all this crap out of the middle. That makes you an employee. If HUD comes directly to you and your company and some kind of QC policies in place where you're negotiating on day 2, hey, guess what? Guess what? You're not an employee anymore. Real simple solution there, Mr. Miller. What's really going on? Yeah. Since 2010, 7 years, Mr. Miller has known that there is an employee independent contractor issue in this industry. He has done nothing to steer the committees or anything in the right direction. He has done nothing but produce revenue streams with bogus background checks by a company in another country that has fraudulent paperwork. I mean, come on. Unbelievable. They just continue to double down. Buckzek is now a member again after they defrauded over $1 million. So Buckzek goes down. Now they're back in the good graces. I don't know how they become a member again. Let me ask you something, ladies and gentlemen. Do you want your company affiliated with a company known for stealing $1 million? Do you want your company affiliated with that type of business behavior? I don't know. It's just a question you got to ask. But FAS just got slapped down. 11 of their guys, $2.2 million. Those numbers are going to increase substantially. There's still like 100 people left to go, 100 companies left in that lawsuit. MCS expected to probably be over $55 million. It'll probably cave MCS in. Assurant, because they have something else going on. I don't know if these guys are going to recover when they. I don't think they anticipated getting beat up that bad on this FAS issue when they bought FAS up, or they probably would not have bought FAS. I can't believe anybody going into that deal with their eyes open would have said, hey, yeah, let's just assume $50 million in risk. With MCS, the big problem they have to worry about, that labor is going to be like a minimum $22 an hour because it's a federal contract. It's a government contract, and they have to pay it. And here is where I have a problem with Mr. Miller. He has yet to do anything. I saw a post go up the other day. Compliance, licensing compliance in a state. How in the hell can you and your organization put that up when 50% of your members are not properly licensed in the states they're conducting business in, and you've known about it since 2010, and you have done nothing to correct this? You keep letting them go down this road. Purdy Enterprises, are you licensed in Alabama, Mississippi, and Tennessee? Yeah, think about that for just a minute. Think about that. How about the folks with the Notion and what's that other company? I don't know, but they got 6 states going on. Are they licensed in those 6 states? It's very, very important that if you yourself as a company has to go through all of this stuff, that, let's see if we can get that out. No, I don't think so. Why wouldn't they have to be licensed? If you have to be licensed, if you have to be in compliance, as they call it, why don't the company giving you the work have to be in compliance? And that's the lock that this organization has on the industry. They control the workflow. They tell you who to buy insurance from. They tell you when to do the work, what equipment to do the work with, how to do the work. They train you. Come on. And then they tell you can't lien the property if we don't pay you? Come on. Big red flag. If a company, and this is a very simple way labor can push back. If they're not licensed in your state, tell them no. Here's the thing. Let's take Bucksec for example. They were doing like 15 states across the country. They're all the way back east. They're subbing work in California. Not only because they are breaking the law by not being licensed in California, but they're crossing state lines, they're using electronic means, and that falls into the RICO. That falls under RICO violations. Now, how long it's going to be before this industry is actually cleaned up, I have no clue. But I do know this. The opportunity to come to the table and figure this out, that window is rapidly closing. And it may already be closed, I don't know. But I will say this. Mr. Miller, Mr. Mingham, Tony Newman, you guys kind of, you can bring labor to the table. Again, International Association of Field Service Technicians. There's some scuttlebutt about NPPG over on Facebook again. I'm not sure about that. But I will say this. Take a look at the International Association of Field Service Technicians. Take a look at what they have going on. Is it an organization for your company? You have to make that decision. Or would you rather be affiliated with somebody like NAMFS? You know, I mean, they control the workflow. They control who you buy stuff from, everything. Insurance. I mean, that is the most insane thing I've ever heard. Oh, you have to buy insurance from these people. My insurance agent will write me a policy. I don't need you. I do not need you. The other thing, food for thought today. My other food for thought today, you're going to love it. You're going to love it. Women-owned businesses. Now, I know Kim Savage is a women-owned business. I know Kim Savage does 90% of the work. She's out in the field. She's doing the administrative stuff. She's doing the negotiating. She's doing the bids. That lady over there at Guardian do all that? How about Lila? Are you doing all that, Lila? How does NAMFS have something going on with the SBA to classify businesses as women-owned businesses? Because when Lacey applied for, the owner of Alladay LLC applied to become a woman-owned business so we could have favorable contract negotiations and maybe get in the door in different places. SBA told her she didn't do enough work to be a woman-owned company. Think about that. A woman-owned company doesn't mean a woman's name on the business license. There's a lot more in there. So I got to wonder, with all the women-owned companies in NAMFS, if NAMFS doesn't have something going on back door with the SBA to get this certification. Or is every one of these women that are certified a woman-owned business by the SBA lying to the SBA? Because, and I'll give you an example, Guardian has 3 people listed on the thing. 2 of them are men and 1 woman. That means 67% of the administrative work is done by men, not a woman. I don't make those rules up. The SBA does. So how did Guardian become a certified woman-owned minority business when men are doing almost 70% of the work and not women? I don't know. What do you think? Comments in the section below. You can comment in the section below. How about this? Does NAMFS need to clean their act up? Comment in the section below. Comment in the section below. Is what Purdy Enterprises doing? Is Purdy Enterprises, are they discriminating by saying, hey, if you know Foreclosurepedia, if you talk to Foreclosurepedia, if you read Foreclosurepedia, if you are a member of IFAST, you get no work from the HUD contract? Is that discrimination? What do you think? Comment in the section below. Say something. Let's get a conversation going here. And I keep seeing, and right now, Purdy Enterprises, they're recruiting off of Craigslist. Why didn't they? Let's all go work for Purdy Enterprises, sue them. Here's what I don't understand. It's not like this isn't common knowledge what's going on in the industry. These companies all know this. They all know it. They all know what's going on. They all know they're rolling the dice, and they continue to roll snake eyes. What's going on here? Mr. Miller, what is going on with your membership? You gotta wonder. Just me. You gotta wonder what happens to that guy's resume when NAMFS implodes, because it's fixing to. It's going to fold in on itself, all because of pecuniary greed. Because people like Dina Alfredo, Adam Boozcheck, Amanda Boozcheck, all those folks over at FAS. Yeah. Brian Christie, his emails, exchanges between me and him, made me an employee. And guess how I won that court decision? Oh, by the way, it was my QC policy they denied. The QC policy that Brian Christie denied is what made me an employee. You get a work order, you do the inspection, day 2, you're negotiating the fees. Everything is put in paper. Day 3, you do the work. Real simple. Back end yourself with your own QC people coming in the back door. They can check the work after you're done. Not a callback in 10 years, folks. Something to think about. Something to think about. It could be the way the industry can save face. What do you think, Mr. Miller? You've got a lot of face saving to do right now. You continue to allow criminal activity going on in the industry. It amazes me that you would allow this to go on with the membership. It amazes me that when you're asked a question, you won't answer it. It baffles me that you could go on this long and let what's going on in the industry continue. Looking for fraud information, ladies and gentlemen, foreclosurepedia.org, foreclosurepedia.org. Like I said at the beginning, I don't know if Foreclosurepedia is responsible, if me bringing information is responsible, if both of us might be responsible. But hey, we got a product bidding war going on, and who benefits? Labor. Labor does. I don't know. Again, just me. I would rather give Home Depot my money than give MFS my money, because MFS is part of Safeguard Properties. I don't know that MFS is big enough to get a discount going in Lowe's or Home Depot, but I do know one thing. A lot of contractors in the property preservation industries do have accounts with Lowe's and Home Depot. So hopefully, as more and more information starts pouring into the courts, as more and more information starts becoming readily available to contractors, that people start really shopping around for materials, if they will, and not use industry affiliated companies. It's just, it actually literally blows me away that everything they've done when they start talking business development is all outsourcing and a way to rip people off. That's all it is. There's absolutely no reason for HUD and Fannie Mae not to be coming, or Bank of America, Wells Fargo, all these places. They have offices everywhere. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? There's no reason they're not knocking on your door in your local community. There's absolutely no reason for that. It just, like I said, it's dumbfounding that. Let me ask you this. Let's say you have a group of people. There's 40 of you, 37 of you in this group, and you've been elected to be the ringleader of the group. Okay, every Thursday morning you meet and have coffee, and you sit and discuss the problems of the world, because you're going to find a way to resolve them. One day, one of your members goes out and gives a guy out on the street a cup of coffee. He gets arrested for it because somebody says, hey, that's wrong. Are you going to allow the rest of your members to take coffee out on the street and give it away after one of your members has been arrested? That's what Mr. Miller has done. He's allowed every one of his members, every one of the members in that organization, he has placed at risk. He has placed at serious financial risk because he has done nothing to right the ship. And I'm sorry, Mr. Miller, but you're guilty. You're guilty as hell in this mess. You have observed it. You have let it go. You have never said a word about it. As a matter of fact, Mr. Miller, when he was asked that question, we are not a policing agency, was his response. So he is aware that he has criminal activity going on in the membership. Yet he has done nothing to stop it. He has done nothing with the board of directors has done nothing to stop it. Is that an organization you want to be affiliated with? If a company is not licensed in your state, and this is the federal court ruling, this is the law, and this is the law in every single state. If you're doing some type of business in my state, if I'm the Secretary of State of the state, if you're doing business in the state, you have to have a license in the state. That's my rule. And guess what? That's the rule in all 50 states. Conducting business in a state is defined as activity generating revenue. They make money on the work that you do, on the work that you pay for to do. They make money on that work. That work product never leaves the state. Therefore, it's a licensing issue and it's taxable money. And this is why all these people try to avoid this and do all this work. They're getting out of tax liabilities, huge tax liabilities. And why we're talking tax liabilities, my Business 101 tip this week, pay yourself. If you're not paying yourself, get a hold of me. I will show you how to do it. It's very simple. It's the easiest thing in the world. But if you are not paying yourself at the end of the week, if you're not writing a check at the end of the week for you, you really don't know how much the work is costing you to do. And I'm going to give you an example. When I say it cost me $57 to do a winterization, therefore I need a minimum $125 for that service. The $57 is all the materials, the transportation, and by the way, I let me correct myself here real quick. $57 was before I put the key in the ignition. I didn't calculate the gas because that was a variable because I never knew how far I was traveling to the thing. I always had to do that at the end of the winterization. That $57 had labor in it at like $12 an hour. Okay, cheap labor is how I calculated that $57. If I'd actually calculated on a HUD contract at $22 an hour, it would have went to $85. I'd be having to charge $160. So I have money in my company to pay taxes, to pay operating expenses, to reinvest in myself. You get done at the end of the week, and you only got 20 or $30 left over, you're patting yourself on the back because you came out ahead, you bumped your head. You haven't paid yourself, so you lost money. Think about that for a minute. Let's say you go out and you have spent $150 to get work done. Okay, that's what you've spent out of your pocket. We haven't got to the 6 hours of labor it's taken you to do. Even if you paid yourself $10 an hour, which in Nevada comes out to about $12.50 after payroll taxes. So figure let's say you work 6 hours, okay? At $12.50 an hour, that's what it would cost you to pay the $10 an hour employee. That comes out to what? Another $75 on top of the $150. So now you're $225 and they've only paid you $180 for the day. You thought you were making something because you got $30 over the $150, so you come out ahead. When in reality, you did not come out ahead. You have lost money. And what the membership banks on is you don't pay yourself and you don't understand how that works. Not paying yourself, you might think you're doing okay. But if something goes belly up, you have no unemployment, no Medicaid, no SSI, no Social Security is being paid. Plus your federal taxes, and if you have state taxes, they're not getting paid. You got to think about that. You really have to think about that. It's very frustrating that people continue. And I'm sorry, but somebody said something. Somebody sent me an email, and I forget who it was. about the capability statement. Get back to me on that. We'll get you squared away. Capability statements, kind of a business resume, but there's a way to format them and put them together to where you can set them on the table and they're a nice presentation. You can hand them out as a flyer, mail them. You can do a whole lot of things with them. But they'll also help get your foot in the door for local, like taking care of the lawn at a cemetery or in the parks or golf courses, all that kind of stuff. People need that kind of work done. Military installations, they got somebody comes out and mows their lawn every week. Capability statements help you get your foot in the door for that. Help you diversify and help you. I just take them when we do a booth every now and then at one of the charity events that we do. I'll put them on the thing there, and it blows me. I had one lady one time, man, she picked it up and walked away. About a half hour later, she came back. She goes, "You guys do all this stuff on this list?" I said, "Well, yeah, that's kind of why I put it out." And she goes, "I hire 3 different people." She goes, "I'm calling you next week." Think about it. Think about it. It can help you out. And like I said, hey, I'm a voice for labor. I'll advocate for labor forever because I am labor, you are labor, we are labor. Always remember, labor gets the work done, folks. And accordingly, labor can kind of dictate a few things if you organize. And one of the easiest ways to do it, hey, if they don't have a business license to conduct business in your state, tell them no. Tell them no. The timeline will beat them up because they have to turn the work over to this guy who has to turn the work over to that guy. If they can't get it done, they can't get it done, and they can't get their money from that guy. Just real simple. Nothing, not rocket science here. Not rocket science. Foreclosurepedia.org, up to the minute fraud information. Women at work. 804-539-4333. Richmond, Virginia area. She got it going on. Foreclosurepedia.org. Good stuff over there. Foreclosurepedia Nation. Good stuff, good information. And again, International Association Field Service Technicians, they got a board meeting coming up. Maybe we'll get some information on the next podcast out. But go to the website, check it out. I think it's ifast.org, ifast.com. I'm drawing a blank on that right now, but I think it's com. Is it an organization for you? I mean, think about it. They got labor in where other organizations don't. Labor is a part of IFAST. Labor is a part of getting the work done in the industry, ladies and gentlemen. You got to think about it. You got to think about it. What's going to happen? Will IFAST survive? I don't know. Will FAS, Assurant FAS survive? I don't know. Will MCS survive? I don't know. But I'm going to tell you right now, the first questionable chargeback you get from either one of those companies right now, you need to get a hold of Scott Wolf over at Z-Lean and talk to one of their people because they will get you squared away. It's like I'm saying, I would venture to guess 95% of all chargebacks that I have seen in this industry since 2007, when I started, are fraudulent. And they're just, you can't go back 2 years after a tax cycle and charge somebody back. That, first and foremost, is poppycock. Second, if the service has been QC'd, approved, and paid, they can't go back and take your money for whatever BS. Oh, well, the client said this, the client said that. Demand to see the chargeback from the client. And if they don't produce it, lien the property. Just lien the property. Or take them to court, one or the other. But Scott at Z-Lean, they are experts. That's what they do. They'll help you get your money. Tell them Aaron said hi. I'll get his link in the thing there. They got some good stuff on their website this week. If you like what you hear, ladies and gentlemen, give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to the station. If you can help out with a donation, hit the website and help us out, because we sure could appreciate it right now. We'll have more stuff coming out this weekend, you can bet. I'll be showing some more stuff going on up here that we're doing, getting ready to relocate and find a new sustainable agriculture gig. You're looking for agritourism, you got a business you want to wrap some agriculture programs around, get a hold of me. I can help. I take the show on the road. I come with the shop. Thumbs up. It's all good, man. Hey, let's have a great day, ladies and gentlemen. Let's all be safe out there, huh?